As I come before you today, I come before you with answers to so many questions. I know people are wondering why, how did it happen? And I've come before you today to tell you the truth. As I said, I'm not embarrassed. I can hold my head up high and explain to you how I got where I am. To run a business, there's a lot that you need to know. For whatever business you want, you have to know the ins and outs, the legals, everything. And I'll be the first one to admit that there was a lot that I did not know. But I know one thing, that I love children, I love people, and I love to help others. I'll be the first one to also take responsibility for my actions. I'm not one to blame anyone, accuse anyone, or have someone else be my scapegoat. I can be the first to admit that I've made a big mistake in my life. But if you know me, you know that I'm not the only guilty party. But I was the only responsible party that came forth, stood, and told the truth. And for that reason, as I said, I can hold my head up high. I can look at people and not be shameful and not be embarrassed. I know what I drove, and I know I didn't drive a Mercedes. I know what I wore, and I know I didn't buy fur coats. I know my name was MRS, so with that, there had to be a MR. So the lavish life I lived, I didn't live it by myself, but I was the only one that took responsibility for my actions. And for that, I'm proud of me, and I'm happy with the verdict. Because when it's all said and done, God showed his mercy, God showed his grace. And people say, well, why are you in this predicament? It's because I took a stand. I took a stand and said, no more violence, no more domestic violence. I'm fed up and I'm tired. And when I decided, after years of documented domestic abuse, to say I'm fed up and I'm tired, I was threatened by my ex that if I didn't stay, that they would tell the IRS whatever they wanted to and make up some. But you know what? I will not be a victim anymore. I will be a victor. And because I stood for what was right, and because I stood to have sanity, this is where I sit. But I can take it. I can stand. And the question is, how can someone else live with themselves? If you've been arrested over 3 times for domestic violence, how can you be happy sitting on the front row of church every week when you know that you've abused your wife, that you've broke into her house, that you have a restraining order against you for the next 2 years for what you've done? How can you live with yourself when you know you've lied to the IRS to put your ex-mate in prison? But it's okay, because you know what? God has given me strength. He's given me a ability to hold my head up high. And for that reason, that's why I'm where I'm at, because I took responsibility. I didn't blame others. I stood for what was right. And that's why.
So much. I've learned not to allow the trials and tribulations in life to bring you down. I've also learned what to expect in a marriage, and my mom has taught me throughout this experience that you should not settle for anything. I respect my mom, and it hurts to know that she's stuck in an abusive relationship for the sake of my brother and I. And I've learned not to just settle for anything. If a man ever decides to hit me or anything, I would definitely leave from what my mom has taught me. And I just appreciate it. And
Also throughout this experience, I've learned a lot as well. I've learned on what a father should be like. Well, shouldn't be like exactly, but from what I've experienced, I know what I want to be like and what not to be like. Um, Not to say that my father's a bad person or anything, but he just made some really bad mistakes that I really don't like because it's just not cool to like you. It's basically being a sore loser. Basically, it's not cool to take a problem like that and then go overboard with it. Everything could have been done so much easier, but I just learned to take situations like that. Don't take them, don't go crazy with it. Just accept it and just move on and everything. And I just learned that to take situations differently from this situation. I've learned to, like I said, what a man should be like, what a father should be like, and also on how to deal with things like this. Obviously, I've never dealt with any situation like this before, but I've learned that you can't let it get to you too much because you have to live life too. You just can't be brought down by this one huge situation and basically messes up your whole life because like you have to move on. You just can't live life like that because it just makes life worse for you. It just makes you more miserable. But I've just learned to stick close to family, love them. This is the closest me and my sister have ever been. Just we've been real close ever since the whole situation came about. Because we're pretty much all we really have left together, me and her. So we just have to stick together and stay along for the ride and just let it blow over, let it breeze over, and just let God work it out. That's all we really can do.
And to any child that is dealing with anything in this case, I just speak life and and encourage you to hold your head up high and not allow it to bring you down. And at the end of the day, know that there is a brighter day after the storm. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
My name is Latrice, and I'm Renee's younger sister. With my sister having to go away for tax fraud for running a daycare center is a big tragedy. A lot of people think that it's something that, oh, it's just so easy to just pay your taxes, or it's just so easy to, just go around with normal life. But she's a one of a kind sister. She's very loving, she's very caring, she has a wonderful, a true, honest heart for children, for people, and she doesn't hold grudges through it all. She's very strong, she's very independent, she's very encouraging. She stands for what she believes in. She's a go-getter, and basically everything fell down on her, which she accepted the responsibility, but it was all basically for the love of children, the love of her friends, the love of her family. So now I have to become the bigger sister to take care of my older sister during this short time. That consists of being there for my niece and my nephew, making sure they are okay for school, providing food on the table for what their father do not do, putting clothes on their back, making sure they have gas, making sure they have notebooks and school supplies. This is something that must take place, that will take place, that will continue to take place during her short journey. Renee, how do you feel that you're going away? Or how could you tell me how this all came about?
Getting married at 19 and starting off in an abusive marriage and being married for 20 years. How did I get here? How do I feel? It seems unreal. It really seems unreal. Standing before a judge, for him to tell you, for a person that's never been in trouble, that you're going to prison, is like being in a movie/nightmare. And to have been married for 20 years and have a ex-husband who acts like he has no children, mind-boggling. To have an ex-husband who doesn't take care of his children, but takes care of himself, is mind-boggling. I don't know how I got here. I got here by not standing. I got here by being a victim, but no more. I'm not a victim no more, and I'm gonna do what's right, even though their father doesn't want to. I'm gonna do what's right. But through all of this, our kids have, my kids have had, and I say my kids because I feel I take care of them. I'm responsible for them. They need gas money, I give them gas money. When they need clothes, school clothes, I bought school clothes for my kids last year. Nobody else bought school clothes. I bought school supplies last year. Now, I don't know what happened to the father in this picture, but all of a sudden, I guess he felt that he didn't have any children or no responsibility. That baffles me. To this moment, it baffles me. After 19, 20 years of marriage, how can you act like you have no children?
And I must say, these are children that have never been in trouble. They were raised and brought up in the church. They are honest, they are good, they are respectful, they are caring, they are lovable. So how could you just turn your back on two children that always try to stay focused? That if you tell them to do, they do. How could you just turn away like they're nobody? They're someone off the street. I don't understand. I can't do it. I can't turn my back on my niece and nephew. I need help taking care of them. And I'm going to figure out a way to continue to take care of them, to continue to help them, to continue to provide for them. So you should feel the same way also. Everyone should feel the same way.
I'm thankful for the strength that we have as a family to unite together, and we're going to get through this. The prayers of the righteous availeth much, and I thank God for all your prayers and support. I felt them. The fear was gone. It was not there. The fear of the unknown was oppressed with the presence of God, and I thank God for all of you that stood by me, stood by my children, encouraged them, encouraged me. I'm asking you to keep us all in prayer during this time of betterment. Pray that the Lord protects me, He covers me, He strengthens me. Pray that I have a mind to just continue on throughout all of this. I pray that my children, and I ask that you pray with me that my children are covered, that they're encouraged, and that they know that God is with them, and that they have the support of my family, of their family, and all of our friends. If you have any questions, you want to look me up, Renee Martin on Facebook. Thank you, and God bless.